More redundancies and nonsense. There is a further problem with the Calvinistic interpretation of foreknowledge. Because it rejects knowing what man would do, that is, repent and believe the gospel, it can involve nothing more than God knowing what he would do. To say that God foreknew what he had predestined would be nonsense. Moreover, it would be impossible for God to foreknow what he purposed to do, because his purposes have always existed. As James said, "Known unto God are all his works from the beginning of the world." Aion, Acts chapter 15, verse 18. The Greek aion, rather, carries the meaning of from all eternity. Ironically, Robsons accuses non-Calvinists of teaching that there was a time when God knew not what man would do. However, it is our contention that God knows all things because he wills all things. On the contrary, we affirm that from eternity past, God has known all that would happen in the universe and in the minds and affairs of men, not because he wills all things, but because he knows all things, that is, omniscient. Piper insists that God does not foreknow the free decisions of people to believe in him because there aren't any such free decisions to know. If so, man is a puppet with God pulling the strings, making foreknowledge meaningless. Without free choice, man would not be morally responsible, could not love God, know God's love, receive the gift of salvation, have meaningful communion with God, or worship him. Spurgeon asked, "Shall we never be able to drive into men's minds the truth that predestination and free agency are both facts?" Yet White writes, in other words, the foreknowledge of God is based upon his decree, plan, or purpose which expresses his will, and not upon some foreseen act of positive volition on the part of man. Such a conclusion is not only unbiblical, but assaults reason. There is no point in saying that God foreknew his eternal decrees, nor could he, since his decrees have always been, and thus were never future to him. There is no way in which he could know what they would be before they were decreed. Neither could one say that God, because he knew in advance that he had decreed to save certain persons, therefore saved them. Foreknowledge is very clearly the reason given for election and predestination. God's knowing in advance what he would do could never be the reason for his doing it. Clearly, knowing in advance who would believe the gospel, God made certain that those individuals heard the gospel, and he predestined them to partake of the many blessings he planned to bestow on the redeemed throughout eternity. Such is the reasonable and legitimate conclusion to be derived from the clear language expressed in these passages. Why go to such great lengths to find another meaning, except to support a theory?